Hello, welcome to the new video The Love of Milim and Rimuru by BenGrem1234. Chapter 69. The fall of the last elite of Rimuru. The battlegrounds echoed with the clash of magical prowess and martial might as the two forces collided. The angels wielded divine powers, summoning celestial energies that seared the earth and sundered the skies. Meanwhile, the united coalition of Earth's inhabitants showcased their unique abilities, harnessing elemental forces and combining their strengths to repel the celestial onslaught. The war raged on, each side suffering losses and displaying extraordinary valor. However, the angels' relentless assault threatened to overwhelm the defenders. The celestial forces, bolstered by their unyielding zeal, continued to press forward, leaving devastation in their wake. Even though the top power of Earth were teaming up against the angels, the casualties of the resident of Earth are countless. Destruction filled all the area and region of Earth, and many warriors and civilians lost their lives. Even with all this devastation, those left alive were happy knowing that the war will soon be over. The reason being that information was sent that only one elite remains and that the top-level power, those on the level of true dragons, will be moving about to wipe out the remaining angels. In the barren lands at the westernmost part of the central continent, a furious clash between the formidable army of giants and the angelic forces was ongoing. The latter displaying their unwavering loyalty to Rimuru, their supreme deity. The giants, proud and stalwart in their giant heritage, clashed fiercely, exhibiting their immense strength, while the angels, adorned in ethereal radiance, showcased their unyielding allegiance to Rimuru. In the heart of the tumultuous battleground, three illustrious figures stood out amidst the chaos: the children of Demon Lord Dragel, Galmus, Serena, and Varian. Each of them possessed overwhelming power, befitting their status as princes of the giant realm. As the clash intensified, a commanding angel, renowned for strength that rivaled even an awakened demon lord, emerged from the celestial ranks. The ground trembled as the three giant princes confronted the formidable angelic commander, their combined powers rippling across the landscape, shaping the battleground with their sheer might. Galmus, the eldest prince, stood tall and resolute, his earth-shaking strength matched only by his determination. His immense stature and prowess were a sight to behold as he clashed head-on with the angelic commander, every blow echoing with tremendous force. Serena, the second-born and fiercely intelligent, weaved intricate spells and wielded ancient giant magic, creating powerful barriers and launching devastating elemental attacks, countering the celestial forces with strategic precision. Varian, the youngest of the siblings, possessed unparalleled agility and speed, darting across the battlefield like lightning, delivering swift and calculated strikes that kept the angelic commander on the defensive. The clash between the giant princes and the angelic commander was a spectacle that shook the very core of Dragwell's domain. Mountains trembled, trees were uprooted, and the skies crackled with the release of tremendous power. Amidst the chaos, the princes' unyielding determination to protect their homeland and their family's legacy shone brightly. Their unity and synchronized attacks created an awe-inspiring symphony of strength and strategy. The battle raged on, the clash of powers becoming increasingly titanic. However, despite the overwhelming force of the angelic commander, the relentless determination and unwavering unity of the three giant princes proved to be an unassailable force. In another location of the barren lands, a fateful clash brewed between the infamous Demon Lord Degruel, Demon Lord Dino, and an enigmatic male elite of Rimuru, possessing strength slightly higher than that of a true dragon. The skies quivered with anticipation, a premonition of the impending cataclysm. The male elite, a figure shrouded in mystery, emanated an aura of raw strength that sent shivers down the spines of all who dared stand against him. His eyes blazed with an intensity matching the fires of creation, his every movement a display of majestic power. Degruel, the malevolent force that haunted the nightmares of many, and Dino, a fallen angel warrior of remarkable prowess, stood firm, their determination unwavering. Even though the male elite power was obviously stronger than them, both faced the male elite with a fearless look in their eyes. Many other battle was happening in the barren continent, and Degruel's three sons were showing their full might in the war. The angels were pushing resident of the barren continent back, but with the hope that reinforcement were on the war, they persevered. Looking at the entire battlefield with an indifferent look, the male elite, with a voice like thunder, proclaimed, "I have heard much about the legendary power, the 8 octagram, and I wish to feel that power for myself. Come at me with all you have and let me test your power." declaring his intent to test the strength of both Demon Lord Degruel and Demon Lord Dino, to challenge the supremacy of the Demon Lord with his valiant comrade. The air froze. Even though Dino was very lazy, at this moment, one who knows him would not believe how serious he was. With his full power unleashed and his angel's wings out in the open, Dino wielded his dual swords in hand and prepared for battle. The battlefield crackled with anticipation. Degruel, wreathed in darkness, unleashed torrents of corrupted energy, while Dino, with lightning-like agility, maneuvered around their adversary, probing for weaknesses. The male elite retaliated with ferocity, his attacks akin to the fury of a dragon unleashed upon the world. His strikes were relentless, shaking the very foundation of not just the land, but the entire world with each blow. The clash intensified, and the skies darkened with the swirling tempest of power and malice. Degruel and Dino fought with a strong resolve, their partnership a symphony of strategy and brute force. However, the male elite's strength proved to be a great force of nature, his might pushing them to their limits. Being pushed back from the impact of power clash with the male elite, Degruel looked at Dino by his side. "How are you holding up, Dino?" he asked him in concern. Dino, breathing heavily, nodded at him. "He is beyond powerful, but I'll manage. His strength revolves around the shockwave of his power, which is difficult to avoid." "True. I'll unleash my through power and other to match him." "Dino, cover me," Degruel told him. Degruel began drawing out his sealed power, which shook the entire continent due to how vast it is. Dino stood in front of him with his sword in hand and other to protect him, but the male elite didn't move. This greatly confused Dino, but the male elite answered his doubt. "Do not worry, I won't do anything until he is done. I want to test the full might of both of you when you both use your peak prowess. So don't hold anything back and unleash your all against me," the male elite told him. Dino sighed in relief, but he didn't let down his guard as he waited for Degruel to be done. Before long, Degruel unleashed his full power and his size increased to that of a titan. With power rivaling that of a true dragon, Degruel unleashed a devastating punch on the male elite. "Fascinating. So this is your true strength. Allow me to test it out to the fullest." The male elite unleashed his own punch to intercept the blow of Degruel. When the two fists collided, a powerful echo sounded in the whole continent and the vibration shook the entire universe. Everyone fighting in the barren continent looked up in the sky and saw the clash between an angel and a titan. All those who witnessed the clash were filled with awe at the power both parties were unleashing from their bodies. The male elite had a smile on his face at having to fight a powerful opponent. All through his creation, he has never fought anyone who can match his strength except for his fellow elites. But here and now, he finally met two opponents who can push him. Even though their power were significantly weaker than his own, the two were in perfect sync with each other and were able to make up for each other's shortcomings. He wanted to enjoy this fight, but he hasn't forgotten that this is war. As the battle raged on, an unexpected turn saw Dino bearing the brunt of a devastating blow from the male elite. The force of the impact sent Dino hurtling across the battlefield, leaving a trail of destruction in his wake. "Deno, you'll pay for that," Degruel in his titan form roared in anger. The sight of his comrade's injury ignited a blaze within Degruel. His eyes, usually consumed by darkness, now glowed with a fierce determination. With newfound resolve, he surged forward, unleashing a forbidden technique, drawing upon dark powers that pushed his own limits to the brink. "What kind of power is that?" The male elite, astonished by Degruel's sudden surge in power, attempted to counter the relentless assault. However, Degruel's intensified strikes, infused with darkness and resolve, overpowered his opponent's defenses, leaving the male elite staggered and struggling to maintain his footing. Not long, an injured Dino with blood covering half of his body, sent a slash at the male elite. The male elite, with some struggle, managed to block the slash. After blocking the slash, the male elite looked up and saw Dino and Degruel rushing toward him in perfect harmony. They reached him and unleashed their full power on the male elite, utilizing all the skills and magic in their arsenal. Despite the male elite's overwhelming strength, Degruel and Dino, with their unyielding will and unparalleled synergy, managed to find a crack in their adversary's defense. "Here's my chance. Take this." Degruel, with his full power unleashed, released a cataclysmic surge of magicule that shattered the male elite's impenetrable defense. The male elite staggered, weakened but not defeated. His gaze locked with DeGruel's, a mutual understanding passing between them. The acknowledgement of a worthy opponent. In a burst of radiant energy, DeGruel and Dino managed to deliver the decisive blow, forcing the male elite to his knees. The once invincible figure, now humbled, acknowledged the strength of his adversaries. Dino flew to the male elite and swung his sword directly towards his neck. The male elite, who has been weakened, had no energy left to defend himself, and before long, his head was beheaded by Dino's sword. The battlefield fell silent, save for the echoes of victory. Dino, wounded but standing, leaned on DeGruel, who was returned to his original size, their victory hard-earned. They had managed to emerge victorious, despite suffering great injury and facing an opponent of unimaginable strength. DeGruel turned to Dino, who was leaning to him. "How are you feeling?" "Like the star exploded right in my face. I'm just glad we won against that guy," Dino replied to him. "Yeah, me too," DeGruel told him. As the dust settled, DeGruel and Dino, battered but triumphant, stood as testament to their unbreakable spirit and the strength of their bond. The legend of their victory against the powerful male elite would echo through the annals of time, a testament to the resilience of the valiant against insurmountable odds. And with this victory, the last of the elite of Rimuru fell and the spirit of everyone in the barren continent was ignited. Chapter 70. Milim's new evolution. As the fight across the world was coming to an end, many things had happened. The first was the eradication of all the elite of Rimuru. The last of the elite to fall was on the barren lands, taken down by the combined might of Dragel and Dino. Even though it was an intense battle, Dragel and Dino still prevailed. Another development was the near eradication of the Angels invading Earth. With all the top forces of Earth joining hands, the Angels, who had pretty much lost their leaders, were easily finished off. Inside the Jura Tempest Federation, in the sky near the city of Rimuru, Guy Crimson, Velgrand, Carrera, Velzard, Benimaru, and Chloe were floating in the air. Guy brought down his hand and sighed. "It is no use, it is sealed tight. I guess neither of them wants anyone to interfere with their fight, which is why they sealed off the space," Velgrand said. "You may be right on that. Knowing Milim's personality, she must have really wanted to be the one to defeat her evil counterpart," Velzard said. "I guess all we can do now is wait for her to be done," Chloe said. "By the way, where is Rimuru?" Guy asked. After coming all the way here, Guy was expecting to hear from Rimuru, but he hasn't heard from him, which was strange considering he and the others were in his country. "He has sealed off the entrance to the control room of the labyrinth. I guess he is undergoing some kind of evolution and would not want to be disturbed," Benimaru explained. "That's good. Even though we have almost wiped out all the Angels, it means nothing if Rimuru takes to battle," Guy said. "Tell me something. What are the chances of victory if you, Velgrand, and Carrera team up against Rimuru?" Chloe asked Guy. Guy blinked at the question before answering. "We wouldn't stand a chance. We could maybe unleash some power on her, but it won't matter since she is way beyond us." Velgrand and Carrera nodded at that, making Benimaru and Chloe understand the severity of Rimu's powers. This is referring to if Rimuru is still a true deity. If she has regained her original power and becomes a supreme deity, I fear that only Rimuru can stop her then, Velgrand said. This news greatly shocked Benimaru and Chloe, but they didn't show it. In a situation like this, worrying won't make a difference at all. They can only do the best they can and leave the rest to fate. Transcendent realm. In the boundless expanse that transcends all dimensions, the fabric of reality trembled as two opposing forces faced off, each embodying the near omnipotent power of a deity. The radiant and benevolent Milim Nava, known for her vibrant pink hair and infectious laughter, stood resolute, her iridescent eyes shimmering with determination. Opposite her, a malevolent version of herself emanating darkness and chaos sneered with contempt, the embodiment of an evil that sought to shatter the very essence of existence. "I won't let you capture me or tarnish the world created by my father," proclaimed Milim, her voice echoing through the infinite void. The dark Milim spoke, her voice reverberating with malice. "I'll crush you in this pathetic reality and rebuild it for my master. Surrender and save yourself the pain I will deliver." Bolts of raw energy crackled between them as the clash commenced. Universes quaked, and dimensions were born and destroyed in the wake of their cataclysmic battle. Both Milims unleashed deity energies, tearing through the very fabric of space-time, each strike threatening to unravel the cosmos. The clash between these two titanic forces threatened the celestial convergence, where stars danced in a cosmic ballet, and galaxies formed a stunning backdrop to their fierce altercation. Milim's every movement emanated waves of pure magicule known as stardust, illuminating the cosmic void around her. She wielded the power of creation itself, summoning nebulae to shield herself and harnessing the fundamental forces of existence to repel her adversary. Dark Milim, in contrast, manipulated the chaos magicule known as Turn Null, corrupting the very fabric of reality with her touch. Her malevolent prowess twisted the cosmic energies, warping them into tendrils of darkness that sought to ensnare her opponent, tearing apart the very laws of reality with its chaotic force. Their battle raged across dimensions, hurtling through realms where time was an abstract concept and space an illusion. Milim weaved and transcended through the streams of alternate realities, each step leaving a trail of stardust in her wake. Her determination to protect the existence created by Veldanava and to protect her beloved Rimuru fueled her every action. Dark Milim, relentless in her pursuit, commanded the forces of Turn Null and Chaos, causing ruptures in the structure of universes. Her intent to capture Milim for her master knew no bounds, orchestrating disruptions that threatened to unravel the very tapestry of creation. This was a clash between two opposing energies, the energy of everythingness known as stardust and the energy of nothingness known as Turn Null. The clash escalated to unfathomable heights, reaching a crescendo where the boundaries of known existence blurred and fractured. Reality itself seemed to quiver under the intensity of their battle, each of their strikes echoing through the vast emptiness of the transcendent realm. As their fight unfolded, amidst the chaos, brief moments of discourse emerged. Milim, her gaze fixed on her counterpart, called out, "Rimu's purpose blinds you. Can't you see that she threatens to destroy all creation just for her ambition? Why would you choose to go along with her plan when you know deep in your heart that what she is doing is wrong?" Dark Milim countered with no expression, "You speak as if you know me. We may be the same person, but we are far apart from each other. I don't have a heart, and my very existence is for my masters. Whatever she wants, I'll make sure she gets." Clashing her sword, covered in Turn Null energy, with Milim's world-class sword, which she covered with the energy of stardust, Dark Milim told her, "And you shouldn't see her destroying creation as a bad thing. My master offers the chance to be the architects of a new, superior reality, one that is even greater than this current reality, and you will be the queen by her side as she accomplishes her goals. I will never let that happen. The world my father created and the world that Rimuru and I share will never be destroyed by anyone. I'll stop you, and then I'll stop Rimu," Milim roared. Their battle traversed dimensions and temporal planes, each clash distorting the very essence of the infinite multiverse. Milim's stardust prowess channeled the energies of creation, weaving timelines and safeguarding the delicate balance of reality. Dark Milim, fueled by her ambition of accomplishing her master's goals, summoned torrents of Turn Null energy, distorting the very essence of existence, tearing at the fabric of reality in her pursuit of Milim. Between their clashes, amidst the cosmic turmoil, they engaged in heated debates, their words echoing across the infinite expanse. "Milim, your resistance is futile," Dark Milim proclaimed, her voice carrying a note of certainty. "My master's power spans beyond any realm. Surrender, and spare yourself and the cosmos the agony of this futile resistance." Milim, resolute in her commitment, retorted, "I fight not for myself alone but for my beloved and the very fabric that intertwines existence. Rimu's ambitions threaten not just me and my beloved Rimuru, but the fundamental laws of creation. I cannot stand idle and let chaos reign." Their battle escalated, creating shockwaves that reverberated across planes and dimensions. Reality itself seemed to quiver under the intensity of their clash. The very existence of all known realities hung in the balance as they continued their epic confrontation. In a cosmic explosion of light and darkness, their powers collided, each seeking dominance over the other. The fate of the infinite multiverse teetered on the outcome of their struggle, a monumental clash between Milim and the harbinger of cosmic chaos. In the midst of this cosmic maelstrom, Milim's heart resonated with an unyielding force. Her love for Rimuru Tempest, her dearest friends, and her beloved world. A surge of power, uncharted and unprecedented, surged within her. It wasn't just her strength but the force of her love that propelled her beyond her limits. Dark Milim, who was clashing with Milim, noticed keenly a change happening within Milim, but she had no time to ponder on it as Milim's power and assault seemed to double. Milim, who felt like a totally new person, increased her force as she clashed her sword with her dark counterpart. Her power, fueled by her desire to protect her beloved, kept rising until it reached the peak of the deity realm and was still rising. Even though in the realm of deity, the concept of skill becomes meaningless, it doesn't mean that the skill they had before ascending will disappear. It just becomes meaningless to use since their natural power surpasses the skill they had. In the case of Milim, her two ultimate skills, Satanel, Lord of Wrath, and Armageddon, Lord of Destruction, began to fuse with her due to her surge in emotion. Read chapter 19 to have a clear understanding of her new ultimate skill in this story. Sensing this newfound might, Dark Milim sneered, "Your emotions will be your weakness." But Milim's determination only solidified. With her heart ablaze, she harnessed the power of her love, weaving it into her attacks. With each strike, she channeled her feelings for Rimuru, infusing her abilities with an ethereal brilliance that surpassed the darkest intentions of her doppelganger. The battle raged on, reality itself bending and contorting under their might. Dark Milim, relentless in her pursuit to dominate, launched an onslaught of turn-null energy, seeking to erase all semblance of order. Yet, Milim stood firm, her resolve unwavering. "I can't let you have your way. I will stop you," Milim declared. Concentrating her power into an attack, Milim released a fully powered Drago Nova at her dark counterpart, who countered it with a similar attack but powered by turn-null energy instead of stardust energy. As the two forces clashed for dominance, Milim's power kept rising and seemed to have broken a kind of limit, bringing Milim's power to new heights. Milim Nava, known for her insurmountable might and playful demeanor, had always reigned as an unmatched force within the universe. Besides Guy Crimson, no one was worthy of her attention due to how overwhelming her powers is. This caused Milim to hate her powers because it prevented her from befriending anyone due to those she met always worshipping her as their god. It wasn't until she met Rimuru and his monster subordinates that she finally began to smile a genuine smile. She felt content with her powers and had no need to increase it, believing that Rimuru or her can stop any threat that comes their way. It wasn't until Milim saw Rimu and felt the overwhelming power she possessed which threatens even her beloved Rimuru that Milim started desiring to grow stronger than she was. She trained in an island where Seal changed the time flow to be several years faster than the normal time flow. She doesn't know how much time she trained there, but it was centuries later that she was able to ascend to the realm of deity after mastering and becoming one with her ultimate skill. Even though she was now a deity, she knew it was not enough to combat Rimu, who was a true deity. She wanted to break through her limit and ascend to the realm of true deity, but she doesn't know how. That changed after she heard the crazy plan Rimu and her counterpart were planning during this fight. The intense love she had for Rimuru and the strong desire to protect both him and her friends caused a shift to occur in her power. A shift in her powers had occurred, stirring whispers across dimensions. Her two ultimate skills, a manifestation of her raw energy, merged with her very essence, intertwined with her being in a way never witnessed before. It all transpired due to the extraordinary bond, an emotional connection she forged with Rimuru. Rimuru, a being of immense power and her beloved lover, held a special place in Milim's heart. Her emotions, once untamed and chaotic, found a new focus and resonance in her affection for Rimuru. In the clash of power with the dark Milim, Milim pondered the depths of her newfound emotions. Her love for Rimuru had become an unyielding source of strength, transcending her previous understanding of power. The amalgamation of her love and her two ultimate skills sparked a transformation within her, resonating with her very essence. As Milim clashed her world-class sword with Dark Milim's own sword, the convergence of emotions and powers pulsed within her. A radiant aura enveloped her, pulsating with an ethereal glow that illuminated the surroundings. The fusion of her two ultimate skills and her feelings for Rimuru became a catalyst, triggering a transformation that exceeded the confines of conventional power. Her connection with Rimuru surged, the unyielding love she held for him intertwining with the very core of her existence. This fusion propelled her beyond the known thresholds of power, transcending the boundaries of the deity realm. Streams of radiant energy wove around Milim, encapsulating her form. She ascended beyond the conventional tiers of strength, her being resonating with newfound energies. Her power, now an amalgamation of her boundless affection and her overwhelming might, surged to unprecedented heights. In this transcendent state, she experienced a profound unity with the universes, the white void sea, and the infinite dimensions, feeling the heartbeat of existence reverberate through her. Every movement, every thought was an echo of her love for Rimuru, intertwining seamlessly with her immeasurable power. With this newfound ascension, Milim Nava, the once playful and uncontrollable demon lord, became a beacon of unfathomable power, a symbol of love and strength that resonated across the vast expanse of the infinite multiverse. Her existence now transcended the limitations of known realities, a testament to the unbreakable bond between her two ultimate skills, her very being, and the unyielding love she held for Rimuru Tempest. As she gazed into the infinite expanse, she knew that her evolution into a true deity was but the beginning of a new chapter in her unfathomable journey. Dark Milim, sensing the change in Milim, jumped back and looked at her in confusion. How did you ascend into a true deity? No being besides my master and her counterpart should be able to reach that height. Milim calmly looked at her. It is true that you and I are the same, but there is a fundamental difference between us. You were created a human with your limit of power being the deity realm. I, on the other hand, am the only daughter of the first god of creation, Veldanava. I am someone who is destined to reach the same height as my father and even surpass it. You cannot compare to me. Dark Milim, for the first time in forever, showed an emotion. Due to the words of Milim, Dark Milim, who has lost her ego, experienced an intense emotion of anger and a desire to crush Milim. What is this? Is that emotion I see on your face? No matter if you have lost your ego, I know that your heart is still in there, Milim told her. Say whatever you want, it won't change my mission. I was tasked in capturing you, and I will do just that even if you have ascended, Dark Milim declared. Then come at me with all you have. I am quite eager to test out my newfound powers, Milim said. Dark Milim unleashed a torrent of turn-null energy that swept through the void and headed towards Milim. Lightly channeling her true deity powers, Milim unleashed a radiant beam with her sword, a manifestation of her emotions, cutting through the malevolent force with a blinding brilliance. The pure, incandescent power overcame the darkness and chaos, dispersing the evil Milim's power. Dark Milim, shocked, began to channel a tremendous amount of power to block the beam of light headed towards her. As the beam engulfed her, Dark Milim knew that resistance was futile as their realms were simply too far apart. She closed her eyes and accepted her fate. Just when Milim's attack would have obliterated her counterpart, the surging energy of her beam disappeared all of a sudden. As this happened, a voice sounded in the empty outerverse. You have done a good job, Milim, but I can't have you dying on me. I'll have you return to my side. As the voice sounded, a portal opened, and Dark Milim was sucked into it as it closed. The voice sounded again. As for you, Milim, you have greatly shocked and impressed me by actually reaching the realm of true deity. Since all my elite have been defeated, I'll allow you and the others the opportunity to try and challenge me, but remember that the existence of everything hangs in the balance of the outcome of the coming fight. After saying that, the voice stopped, and silence returned to the outerverse once more. Milim couldn't help but swallow a lump in her throat as she felt the overwhelming power of Rimu's voice. She has no doubt that Rimu's power is above even her current power, which can only mean that Rimuru has regained her original power and has reached the realm of supreme deity. Sighing in her heart, Milim mentally prepared herself for the decisive battle that will occur between herself and Rimuru. With the resolve to never lose, Milim looked out at the void. As the dust settled in the cosmic aftermath of the battle between Milim and her dark counterpart, Milim stood victorious, her heart still resonating with the power she now has. The fabric of reality began to stabilize, the echoes of their battle fading into the infinite expanse. With her true deity's might, bolstered by the strength of her emotions, Milim had won the battle with her dark counterpart. The love for her dearest Rimuru had not only been her anchor but also the catalyst for reaching new heights of power, securing triumph over the force of darkness. As the serene calm of the cosmic void returned, Milim, with her radiant aura, turned back to her realm. Even though she had won, she had no smile on her face. The impending clash with Rimuru still weighed heavily on her mind, and she couldn't help but worry if she and Rimuru could actually survive the upcoming fight with Rimuru.